All right, I think we're going live in 3, 2, 1. Good morning and good evening, everybody. You're listening to the Midnight Radio Podcast, an artsy, experimental radio show bringing you live music, audience forums, and recommendations, spoken word poetry, hosted by yours truly, Login with Yzzy. We have an exciting rundown today as we kick off the podcast with a hot summer theme. From alluring original summertime tunes from our regular featured artist, HANA IRENE, to audience forums where we asked a live poll of what you would do if the pandemic ended tomorrow and what your summer bucket lists were. This Midnight Podcast is ready to bring you some joyful slice of life anecdotes and film and book recommendations to close your day wherever you are in the world. But first off, let's talk about the weather. Currently in Penang Island, Malaysia, we have another heat wave, which I know the UK is also experiencing. You thought March was hot? Sis, it's boiling this summer with a consistent 32 degrees on this tropical island with similar temperatures in London. Now, while I am able to create this chilly oasis, as you can see, by turning on the AC in my room, I hope those of you overseas are keeping hydrated. Okay, hydration is the key to not suffer a heat stroke. Also, since it's July, to all of those graduating from university, a warm congratulations to you all. You did it! Before you bask in post-graduation existential crisis, go enjoy a great summer off. But remember to keep safe as we do have variants of COVID flirting about. And to all of those of you working adults, including me, I hope you're taking care of your mental health as we are stuck indoors working 24/7 with a screen. Speaking of staying indoors, despite sunny weather, here is one of my favorite original tracks from the talented and gorgeous HANA IRENE, Days in the Sun. I'll see you guys back with the audience forum right after this. I can't speak.
He said, hold up, honey, with your yellow dress on. Play that track louder, cause I'm loving the song. Radio's blasting all night long, but I wanna sing my own. Smoking cigarettes on top of that hill. I don't smoke, but I am loving the thrill. He looks like a model, so now what's the deal? Never leave me alone, cause I had a vision. It's kind of better than reality. It's all about days in the sun and you and me. I had a vision, and it's kind of better than reality. It's all about days in the sun. Singing in the shower, I know at this ungodly hour, but all the tunes sung had this power, cause they were all for you. I don't know how to write anymore, guess nowadays it feels like a chore. I'm living the literature right at its core. Turn blue, cause I had a vision, and it's kind of better than reality. It's all about days in the sun and you.
That was Days in the Sun by my bachelor coursemate, HANA IRENE. If you're new to the Midnight Podcast, we like to feature our talented friends and their amazing original works or covers. HANA has been a delightful artist we love to feature here on the Midnight Podcast tonight. Her songs truly transport you to another world. HANA studied English and theater at the University of Warwick with me, and I was always so jealous of her chic fashion sense, her put together attitude, and her wicked eyeliner. You can always spot Hannah in the front row of the lecture halls. However, now we come to the audience forum part of the radio podcast, a new thing we've been experimenting with, just another episode. This is where we asked you on our Instagram poll live 2 questions. First up, what would be the first thing you would do if the pandemic ended today, activity-wise? Now, we've gotten a lot of answers. We've got I can't speak today, I'm sorry. We've gotten a whole load of variety of answers from all over the world, from fresh graduates, working adults who are tired of pandemic blues, from the United States, the UK, Russia, Malaysia, and Hong Kong. A variety of audience participants, with the youngest being 20 and the oldest 28. So, we're targeting the young adult-ish category tonight. Now, let's start with the most popular and generic category answer before spicing things up. Can you guess? What would be the first thing people would do if the pandemic ended today? Most people answered that the first thing they'll do is to travel, go on a road trip with friends, or take leave for a holiday. It's really sad for the graduates of this and the past year, as graduation vacay is no longer a thing. I remember when I graduated, I was really lucky enough to go to Edinburgh, go to Croatia and Portugal, but however, this year, a lot of you guys are staying at home or just traveling in-state. Popular destinations that you guys requested was to go to Malta. Korea, Japan were highly requested, as well as even Bali. I personally would take a trip straight to any cold country during July. I'm just so done with this heat wave, but maybe a ski trip in Switzerland. Not that I actually know how to ski very well, but that might tickle my fancy. Where would you go if the pandemic ended? Now, the second most popular answer, which I find really sweet, is that a lot of people said that they wanted to fly home to see family. That's the second most popular answer. And I think those of us who are at home, who are stuck working in our childhood house and with our parents, we really do take it for granted. Yes, being constricted at home while the country is on lockdown with our parents isn't an appealing way. We never thought we would do this living in our 20s. However, we must be thankful, because think of all those students overseas who perhaps were warned not to come back to their families because either they would be risking both their families and their own health, or they wouldn't be able to go back to the country to study. Not knowing if family members were doing okay and if board time was enough is a very devastating feeling that I wish upon nobody. Following up, the third most popular answer is to see loved ones. So we get into relationships now. So loved ones like a boyfriend or girlfriend. And I really don't know how y'all are doing long distance relationships. It must be really, really hard. And one answer actually that touched my heart was that that person really wanted to hug and kiss their friends. Such a wholesome answer. That's the first thing that they will do. But another one of my favorite answers was that this person said to get married. Wow. I know a lot of friends who wanted to get married during the big 2020. And I actually did have 3 friends who did get married online. A lot of people I know also got pregnant in 2021. But yes, marriage and relationships and the way we interact with them is definitely something that is hugely changed and affected. So, I posed a question to you. Do you think relationships can last during the pandemic? Is there any difference with that and being long distance? And how do you guys think a successful relationship would work during the pandemic? I know a lot of people have struggled with personal mental health, and being a person who is currently not tied to another, I can't imagine how being in a pandemic relationship will be. I can't even take care of myself or my own mental health to think about, what the other person might think. So if you guys are in a long distance relationship, I really applaud you, and I say keep going, because love is worth fighting for. But if you do need a break to work on yourself, do that as well. if you do have a pandemic relationship, do let us know so we can share our thoughts with those who are struggling. Though if you're on the single mingle train, a lot of people also mentioned that they would just love to eat outside again. Remember, we're still on the question of what would you do first if the pandemic ended. And, simple answers just like to eat outside. Okay, I know the UK allows this, but here in Malaysia, our mamaks are closed. Our bars are closed. And just to eat out again late until 2 a.m., have a potluck, hot pot, barbecue, or even a games night, a board games night with friends, is enough. Just the simple things. Those that we think were just, fun student things, those were what I missed the most. Another category of answers, now we're moving out of relationships, is that others said that they would want to go out and do group sports. Something that is also cancelled during these past 2 years. Popular sports include to play badminton, volleyball, or to go to theme parks with huge groups of people. Just to be in a crowd and immerse yourself with the hustle and bustle of the streets. These are all things that we take for granted. And I told this person who recommended this that I would personally go with that person, sit with them and people watch. Because you know what? That is the most fun thing to do. Heck, where are my karaoke friends at? That was a popular answer as well. While curfew ends at 10 p.m. here on the island, Malaysia, I am really jealous of how my friends in London are going out to pubs, though I do pray that they are staying safe. Some unique answers also include to go horse riding, boxing, going to the cinema, I love the new Black Widow movie, or to have a live concert. Speaking of a live concert, the art industry is so hugely affected, and just being in a concert seems like luxury. When was the last concert you went to, and who would you go to if the pandemic ended tomorrow? I also really do miss performing or just even singing along with a crowd. Performance in theater is something that I love to do so much, and to be able to play in a concert and sing, memories. Where would you go? For some reason, I'm really into Olivia Rodrigo. I know, but I'm technically Gen Z, so I understand the hype. But I really love her vibe, and I'm not going to say how I wish I had her or how she raised me. I had Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez, please. But I really do love the messages that she's portraying, Olivia, and that I really do love her Sour Prom. So if you do too, let me know. So these are just the answers that people gave in for our audience forum when asked. And what would be the first thing that they do in the pandemic if it ended tomorrow? For me personally, I think I would definitely go get a job that would allow me to travel, and I would just country hop. I just want to be on an airplane again. You feel? To hear the terminal announcements like boarding pass 1201 to Qatar is boarding now at 8:23. Yeah, I don't really know what that voice was. But anyways, I saw this meme recently where the person was complaining why diaries during the World Wars were documented how users, what am I saying? I saw this meme recently where the person was complaining how writers of diaries during the World Wars were documenting how much they wanted to just go out dancing again. The reader, the person who created this meme, was complaining why they didn't dictate more urgent things. I mean, there's a freaking world war happening outside your door. But then he switched gears and said, now I know. Now I can relate. Same with us, right? I mean, we don't have a world war, but we kind of do. People are dying from COVID, poverty, employment, yada, yada, yada. And instead of writing it in our journals about it, or maybe you do, we just long for the new normal to come again and what we want to do when it's all over. Sometimes thinking about dancing again during a world war doesn't seem that ludicrous now that you take into our own situations into account. With that being said, we'll be right back with you, bringing you hope and inspiration on how you can make a productive summer indoors after this bop, Summer Love Song by HANA IRENE. Catch you guys later.
Long day
Thank you, Hannah, for that amazing song. She released this a year ago, I believe, or more, and it still remains one of my top favorites. I've been waiting all year just for summer to arrive so that I can feature this song. Now, this segment of the podcast usually brings you live poetry. However, we'll keep to our forum and hope to encourage you on how you can make the best of this summer despite the pandemic. Some affirmations you should tell yourself is not to wish for the norm to return, but instead, how can you adapt and use this time of isolation to reflect on yourself? We've been gifted the luxury of having an isolated position, and lots of times it can be lonely, but we have loads of resources to work on ourselves, whether it is learning online and not needing to socialize. Sorry to all of those extroverts out there, but I believe that this is a sign for us to use this summer to explore our feelings so that we can come out stronger when lockdown ends again. Cheesy, I know, but for those of you who are not in lockdown, please don't take it for granted and still be safe. On our poll, we asked you what were your ideal summer plans or goals. Many people said to camp and go on the best road trip of your life with your friends, to go on a holiday somewhere by the sea, and to sleep. Though, honey, I think we've got many opportunities to do that. So to answer what would your ideal summer plans or goals be, a lot of people said to go on picnics at a national park at sunset, to stargaze by the beach, sunbathe with coconuts, go diving, get a master's degree. Good luck to you on that. Barbecue nights and loads more of beachy things. There's a lot of beachy answers tonight, and I think the semiotic linkage with summer and beach is so influential, as 80% of these answers revolve around sunbathing or going to sandy beaches. However, my favorite answer to ideal summer plans is to have a picnic and to go on a cafe date, have a late night car convo with a loved one after while watching the sun set into night. Now that's an ideal date. Write that down, boys. Usually on this forum, we analyze participants based on race and gender. However, there's been a great mixture of answers, so not much to analyze there. To end this radio podcast section, we shall talk about what I've been watching/reading this week and why you should probably too. With the Olympics going on, I hope you all at least are watching one sport to support these talented athletes, as they've been working years for this 4/5 year event. I've been keeping an eye out on the new sports this year: surfing, skateboarding, 3-on-3 basketball. I think the 3-on-3 has been spectacular recently, really exciting to watch. Malaysia didn't stream the volleyball session, and I'm so mad that I didn't get a chance to see it, but please do watch the Olympics even if you're not a sports fan. It's in Tokyo this year, and I definitely will pray my best that I can go in person to Beijing for the Winter Olympics, because that is my dream. Because I love ice skating, and my favorite ice skater in the world is literally retiring next season, so I must go and watch him in person. For shows, if you haven't watched Loki, please do. I've watched it with my dad, and it's a very unique world building. My dad thought it was too complicated, but not to say that I was disappointed, but without any spoilers, I thought some things were a bit far-fetched. And I hate cliffhangers, but I really do love how Marvel always connects the dots. And it was really creative on how they brought Loki's story to life, with the variants and the TVA, those kind of things. But if you love Marvel, and if you love connecting the dots like I do, and if you've watched Black Widow and WandaVision, you'll be so excited like I am for the new Doctor Strange movie, where everything just connects. I've also been introduced, in terms of reading recommendations for you all, to read Atomic Habits. Thank you, Yvonne, for the recommendation. I haven't completed it yet, but during a conversation, we were talking on how self-help books often are just retelling things you already know, but in the author's voice. Is this bad or is this good? Do self-help books really help? And how much should you trust it? Well, this is open to discourse. I just want to urge you all to think that if you feel like you have nothing to tell in this world that hasn't already been said, don't think that because every voice is unique. Like you might be saying, oh, I don't know, sleep early because you'll be successful in life, right? Yeah, we know that. Sleeping early has scientific proofs or whatever, but it's the way you tell it in your story and your voice. Like maybe you make a vlog about it, maybe you make like a game about it. It's all about taking universal facts and putting it out there in your own tone that really makes it special. So don't be afraid of repeating things that you think nobody wants to hear, because it's all about you, right? It's all about your personality. That being said, it's how you tell those universal tales that truly makes it unique to you. So for this summer, whether it is pining for the norm or expectations and bucket lists, life is truly too short to be just waiting and wondering. Do something every day, and in the future, you'll be able to thank yourself for spending your 20s or whatever decade you're in, doing a little productive thing every day. Whether it is to watch a new sport and learn about it, or to paint by numbers, or just to read a book every month. These things count. Whatever sparks joy, I guess. And that concludes our radio podcast. I'm so sorry I haven't been doing these regularly, and I haven't been speaking out loud, so my mumbo-jumbo diction is a bit hard. But I do hope that you like this new experiment, and comment below if you would like to hear more on the Midnight Podcast. It wasn't very story-based today, but we did focus the podcast on audience forums. So if you like audience forums, say yes. And if you want to go back to the anecdotes and live reading and music sessions, just let me know. I'm open to experimenting new things. One thing that I really want to start on this fall season that I've been waiting all year for is I'm going back to my Back to School University series. So be sure to keep an eye about that, because I will be releasing never seen before vlogs, and I think you guys will like that, especially incoming freshers. I hope that my advice would really help you while you're going back to university during the pandemic. I also hope to share more of friends' music, so if you are an artist or you know anyone who would like to participate and explore music, I'll be happy to feature them on here, or poetry, anything. With that being said, let me end today with a short cover by the lovely Enora. I love Enora. Shout out to her and congratulations on graduating, lovely. Here is Enora and her cover of Matilda Mann's song, Blue. I hope you guys have a wonderful summer. Log out.
Don't be surprised when you open your eyes and you find I'm suddenly gone. I gave you the signs and I walked on a line for far too long. Too young to make our promises made. I'll go wherever you go. Safer to stay and wait for the day, 'cause I'll do it better alone. I like to stay and make it all okay, but it's just too soon.